Yes, you don't want to look broke anymore. Just get them now. No, in all seriousness, when is a good time to buy AirPods? When is a good time to buy anything? These days, it kind of feels like anytime you're about to buy something, it's about to get refreshed or it's gonna go on sale a week after you buy it and you're gonna feel like you got a huge ripoff. But at the end of the day, we can go crazy and you can endlessly try to figure out when precisely the best time is to buy something. But the reason this is not a one-word answer video, and there's a lot to unpack here, is of course because it depends on the situation and the preferences you have. Obviously, if you wanted to wait for 10 years to buy your next smartphone, yeah, $1,000 10 years from now is going to buy you a much better smartphone than $1,000 in 2019, but for those 10 years, you're probably going to be stuck with a very dated and slow phone not too long after you bought it. So the debate of when to buy and when to wait all comes down to what your current situation is in, and I'm gonna try to help you understand that best I can with the current rumors for the next generation AirPods, and you'll have to make the decision for yourself by the end of the video. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first question a lot of people want to address from the get-go are new AirPods coming out this year, which it appears, given previous leaks we've got in the past from fairly reliable analysts, the answer is most likely, not with 100% certainty, but most likely yes. Two very credible leakers, both Mark Gurman and Ming-Chi Kuo, have both stated that there will likely be AirPods coming out in late 2019. Maybe they'll delay them till early 2020. But I think if you look at the past and we look at how the packaging for the second generation AirPods had copyright 2018 on them, and they even teased the Hello Siri feature on them at the iPhone event, that means they likely had these ready and wanted to release them with the new iPhones when they came out last year. But of course, AirPower was holding everything up, so they decided to delay them until hopefully they could figure out AirPower, but they couldn't, so that's why they just decided to launch them in February. What this means though is I think there's a good chance Apple wants to refresh AirPods somewhat regularly, maybe as often as they release a new iPhone or a new Apple Watch. As we talked about the Series 5 recently, it wouldn't surprise me if Apple decided that, you know what, the Series 5, there's very little to talk about, so maybe it would make more sense if we launched the new generation AirPods at this event as well, so we get to have a designated part of the keynote towards wearables, because the Series 5 on its own won't be that exciting of a refresh. So maybe mixing it in with the next generation AirPods, which both Mark Gurman and Kuo have said will have slight redesigns. I wouldn't expect them to be massively redesigned. I don't think they're going to suddenly look from the way they are now to suddenly looking like Power Beats Pro or something like Galaxy Buds, where they do something drastic. I think if anything, there were a few leaks earlier this year that were suggesting that AirPods would be moving to a more matte finish instead of the glossy look that they have now, which will give them better grip when they're in your ear and also match the look and the feel of the second generation Apple Pencil 2, which a lot of people prefer the look and feel of. They say it looks more modern, feels more clean, has better grip than the slippery, glossy, and dirt magnet kind of AirPods design we have now. So when you hear Gurman and Kuo say there's going to be a redesign, I just don't want anybody to think that it's going to be anything super massive. If you think AirPods look stupid and that's why they need a redesign because you don't like putting them in and having this stem here, I doubt the stem is going away. It's probably a pretty important part of AirPods design, and if there are new AirPods coming out in September this year, that means they would have to drastically change the infrastructure at their factories to design the AirPods differently, which we would likely know more about by now. The fact that we're not seeing any kind of concrete leaks or concrete photos of next generation AirPods only 90 days before the event probably means they're going to look fairly similar to the AirPods we have now. Now, in regards to should you wait for the next generation AirPods, for a lot of you 3 months could be a long time, and this is where my deciding advice comes in that is going to change from person to person. Cool, so new AirPods with a matte finish may be coming out later this year. What's the big deal? Who really cares that they're a matte finish? There's supposed to be other features along with them as well. We've seen a half dozen leaks for next generation AirPod rumors, some stating that they would be better water resistant, though I don't think that's a good reason to wait because current generation and even second generation AirPods were very, very good at not dying because of water damage. You can wear them and get sweaty, you can wear them in the rain, and even though they don't have some kind of IP certified water resistance, they do pretty well in water if you go watch some AirPod water test videos. In regards to sound quality themselves, we've heard that the next generation AirPods could have slightly improved bass and maybe some active noise canceling so that when you put these things in, they're able to block out external audio, probably as an option, which which you can turn on and off if you want to hear background stuff, or if you don't because you're on a plane, for example. And the other feature we've seen leaked in a couple patents is that Apple might want to put some type of thermal measuring devices inside AirPods so that they could monitor your health, or perhaps even check your heart rate when the AirPods are in your ears, so that perhaps you could have more accurate heart measuring data for people out there who don't own an Apple Watch and want to just use AirPods. Would it work with Android phones? Because AirPods are technically Bluetooth and they work with phones and devices that aren't iPhones. I don't know. That would require Apple to develop some kind of health app for the Play Store, which I don't see that happening. But either way, those are the majority of the new features to be expected. There are a few analysts saying there are supposedly going to be 2 new AirPods coming out at the end of this year. One of them being more pro-focused with higher-end audio quality and a more noticeable redesign, where the other, more affordable option of AirPods, which would not cost as much as this price hike, would probably look the same and feel the same, but perhaps have some better battery efficiency settings, or perhaps include that better sound quality, but not have as good as the AirPods Pro, as some people may refer to them. I'm not sure if those rumors got mixed in with the 2nd generation AirPods that we got back in February. So what's going to happen at the end of 2019, or perhaps even early 2020? We don't know for sure, but whether or not you should buy AirPods really comes down to how bad is your headphone experience right now. In my opinion, if you don't have any wireless headphones right now and you're still using old-fashioned Apple wired earpods because those are the only ones that you have on you and they came with your phone, then I would say it's okay to bite the bullet and go ahead and try out AirPods for yourself. They're magical. The way they seamlessly integrate between all your devices is awesome. But if you already have current generation AirPods, maybe one of them's getting a little quiet, so you have to go into accessibility settings to change the left and right, and you have to tolerate that a little bit longer. Or maybe the charge case doesn't work, or maybe they look kind of run down and your current AirPods don't look as good as they used to. I would say in your situation, you're literally just waiting for some noise canceling, some better water resistance, and a matte finish. In that case, just hold off on new AirPods. Wait until the new ones come out for you to upgrade. But if you haven't had AirPods at all, I think going from wired headphones to a pair of 2nd generation AirPods is going to be such a noticeable improvement for you. There's likely not going to be much of a big reason to wait another 90 days, wait another 3 months, just to see that the new ones coming out happen to be more expensive, maybe some better bass, maybe some active noise canceling. But if you're on the cheap end of the earpods section anyway, you probably don't care that much about water resistance or active noise cancellation. So by all means, go ahead, upgrade now. And yeah, when the new ones come out, you can see how much you missed out on and how much you would have lost if you decided to wait for 3 more months and stick with your old-fashioned wired pair that's not good. But hey, I had to stick around with it for another 3 months. This also comes down to your level of patience. If you're willing to not bite the bullet and get AirPods until the 3rd generation comes out because you really, really care about that active noise cancellation and you really, really care about that improved water resistance or that better audio quality, then if that's important to you, perhaps waiting would be the good idea, even if you already have current generation AirPods and you're unhappy with the lack of noise canceling or their sound quality. Just remember, a lot of people upgraded to the AirPods Series 2 and said that they noticed a sound quality improvement, likely because their old-fashioned AirPods have degraded lithium batteries in them and earwax building up on the inside. So if you use a pair of AirPods for a very, very long time, they will degrade and the sound quality very, very slowly will get slightly worse over time. So even if you want to upgrade right now and get the 2nd generation pair, you may notice a boost in sound quality anyway. Anyway, that's the current facts on the state of AirPods 3 or AirPods 3 Pro, whatever they end up calling them. Probably just AirPods, given they didn't call these AirPods 2. So officially on the website, they refer to these to AirPods 2nd generation because they have the H1 chip and the improved talk time and stuff like that. But ultimately, of course, the decision comes down to all of your personal preferences and your personal situations that you're in right now. Either way, though, if you decide to buy AirPods 2 now or you wait to AirPods 3, I think you're going to enjoy them regardless. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.